Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome to a little different kind of video. And if you can't tell by looking at the screen, no, it's not World of Tanks. No, it's not War Thunder. This is Armored Warfare. And just a quick run through of my garage, and kind of quickly let you know what the settings are that I'm running. I am on normal render mode, but I am on ultra on everything else and 1080p. And just a quick run through of my garage. I have to say, looking at the tanks in the garage, they look absolutely freaking amazing. You have a simplified garage with just a gray background with nothing in it, but you know, I still prefer this because it actually looks like something. I mean, there's stuff going on in the background, like fans turning, some grinding going on back there, or whatever. So, quick run through of the tanks in my garage, and this is a tier 1, and I'll move up through the higher ranks here. I have played it off and on for a little while, so I do have a couple tanks. Not as many as I have my World of Tanks garage. I'll probably end up doing another video on World of Tanks just to show my garage on that one as well. But this is the M41 Walker Bulldog. It is a tier 1. And it's pretty well maxed out. I haven't looked at all the setups and anything because I haven't been in the game in quite a while. The PT-76, I'm not sure what that green flash is whenever you transition, but PT-76, I really didn't use this on a whole heck of a lot. I mean, I used it a few times here and there, but Type 62. A lot of other games feature this as a higher level tank, and well, this is just a little low tier 1 nothing tank, and that's considered to be a main battle tank, an MBT class. LAV 150. It has its fun. Wheeled vehicles here in the game, they're fast, they're relatively maneuverable. It takes some getting used to once you've been in a tank, and the autocannons are, well, they don't do huge amounts of damage right off the bat, but they will whittle an opponent down pretty quickly. These are tier 2, by the way, and this is the M48A3. This was a fun tank. You know, it's a tier 2. It's not, you know, outlandish by any means, but it was a fun tank. Model's not as pretty as some of the other ones, but still nice. OT-65A. And pretty much as you can tell, this was a recon vehicle. And as you see, it's not a very big gun. It's looks like a recoilless. Scimitar, however you want to pronounce it. Fun little tank. Fast, maneuverable, and, you know, it's an autocannon, so it's not tremendous damage, but it has its fun. T-55, good old Russian tanks. Not a bad tank overall. And scrolled too far. There we go. T-92. I like the looks and style of this tank. Fast, maneuverable. Kind of that fast recon vehicle with a decent gun. Not bad overall. I've had a little bit of fun with it. It's not great, but I've had a little fun with it. Type 69. World of Tanks. This would be a high-end premium. Tier 8, I believe. I don't play as much as I used to. It's not a bad tank. Not great, but not bad. Like with many games, artillery's gotten a bit of a nerf. So the Abbott, you can no longer play artillery in player versus player battles. Thanks, World of Tanks. Ruin another game for us. Not just your own. Yeah, so artillery is not near as fun, but it's still usable. The BMD. You've got this SA2, SA3, SA7. It's a anti-tank missile, and then you've got a small main gun. And it's a fun tank. It's fast. It should be able to swim, but of course they don't do that in realistic games. Not bad, not bad. BMP-1, essentially along the same lines as the BMD. The BMD was meant to be a paradrop version of this. Not as fun as it could be. Bum bum bum. It's a tier 10. No, it's not. This is the IS-7. It's a tier 3 in Armor Warfare, because this is more of a modern tank in a game instead of old school stuff. The lowly little IS-7 is not bad. I don't like to reload on the gun, but it's not bad. There are better tier 3s, much like this, the Leopard 1. Again, not a bad tank. Good frontal armor. You can bounce a lot of shots from the front. The Scorpion, another fast, light, highly mobile vehicle with a decent gun. And it's not great, but it's decent. T-62. Like, wait a minute. Didn't we already have a T-62? Yeah, we had a tier 1 T-62. Now this is a T-62 that's a tier 3. Not exactly sure how that works, but okay. Type 59 2A. Yeah. Fun tank. Not phenomenal, but fun. XM800T Law. Another fast, fun vehicle for just peppering targets. Can't take a hit, but it can dish out a little bit of damage to it. Chieftain Mark II, good tank. Had a little bit of fun with the Chieftain Mark II. A lot of battles in this one. The M60A1. I've always liked the M60 tanks. They're like a predecessor to the M48s. Heavily sloped armor here. Reactive armor plates. It's not a bad tank. It's a good fun tank, but the M60A3, this bad boy is a slugger. You can take it out and just absolutely have fun with it. It works really good, or it did last time I played it. The next evolution of that is the Starship. Okay. Big gun. I believe it's 152 millimeter. No, it's not a Russian gun, but it will utilize a rocket-assisted projectile, and it really packs a punch. Whenever it hits and penetrates and it does damage, it does lots of damage per hit. Long reload on it, but I've had so much fun with the Starship. It's just, you can sit back a little bit while everybody else gets up in front and gets kind of, squirrely and want to play peekaboo and stuff. And meanwhile, you sit back at a distance and just slap the hammer on them. It's a fun tank. That was tier 5. We'll move into a tier 6 now, which is the XM1. This was like the prototype to the M1 Abrams. Not bad. I wasn't really super impressed with it, but I'm trying to work my way back up to the line. They gave an option on one of the previous patches to come back in and essentially unlearn everything and start from scratch and get all of your points redeemed, all your gold redeemed, everything all redeemed. So I did that, and I took a line that patch ended up. I wanted the vehicle, and I'll get to it in just a minute, but the patch kind of nerfed it a little bit. But that's the XM1. And you got this and that was a premium. This is a premium here, and this is essentially an M1 Abrams turret on an M60 tank. It's called the M60 2000, and it's not bad. It seemed to have a slow reload time on the gun, or did, and not bad overall. Another premium tank, the Merkava. I don't regret buying this tank. Look at that armor. I mean, seriously. If you know anything about the Merkava, the engine's up front, so you've got this heavily sloped frontal armor, and even the bottom armor has got a decent slope to it, but you hit there, it's just going to ricochet up and bounce off. You've got the same kind of gun you're going to have on the Abrams and pretty much any NATO spec country, but look at the slope on the armor of that turret. I mean, seriously, how are you going to get any penetrations on the turret on this tank? If you can't get them from the side, it's difficult to penetrate the Merkava. And with the engine being in the front, if you do somehow penetrate, you got an engine block to get in the way before the crew gets damaged, because they have a hatch on the back. Kind of really can't see it, but it'll be right there, so you could actually store troops in the back. So this was just a great design. You got to give it to the Israelis on it. Damn, that's a good tank. Another premium tank, T-80U. This was called the Shark, and of course, got the nice teeth right there, the weird paint job on it, the shark fin on the side of the turret. This is an absolute freaking brawler. Tier 7 premium tank, and it's just a brawler. T-90 Alpha. This thing is also a brawler. I mean, it's a T-90 tank. I mean, come on. You may or may not like the Russians, but damn it, them boys know how to build a tank. Got to give it to them. This is a good, fun tank. This is a tier 9. This is the one that I really, really wanted. So when I did a respec, I just sunk my points all the way down the line so I can get this guy. It's like something you would see if you look at the turret on this, like something you would see out of the Terminator movie. So hence the name Terminator 2. You've got quad missile launchers, and you've got twin autocannons, and good frontal armor, good sloped armor. This thing is hard to damage from the front, and since this is a remote operated turret, there's no people in it, so not a whole lot of damage for striking here. The only real weak spots, you can hit it here and do some damage, maybe lock the turret, hit it here maybe, but there's very few spots on the front that you can do a lot of damage to a Terminator 2, and it is just a good tank. So that's my garage. Instead of having to buy vehicles by country, you go by the dealer, and they've changed this considerably in the last patch or so. This is the dealer called Wolfie, and they're going to have a lot of American stuff here and American MBTs. So as you're going down the line, M60A3, M1 Abrams, M1A1 Abrams, M1A2 Abrams, then you get into the M1A2 Sepver 3, and then the XM1A3. So if you want an M1 Abrams tank or the M1 tanks, you're going to have to run down this line on the Wolfie. You unlock them. That's similar fashion to any other game where you just start working through one and keep on going. These are premiums, and these are premiums here. But you've also got your light vehicles. You also have the German tanks, Leopard all the way through Leopard 2AX, Leopard 2A4 Evo. You get the lighter vehicles, and it'll go from the BMP-1 all the way to the 2, the 3, BMP-3M, the Dragon 125. Then you also get into the light wheeled vehicles, and, well, light attack weapons, or whatever you want to call these guys. You got MM13 is now a tier 4. It used to be a tier 1, I think. You got the Swingfire, which is essentially a 113 that had missile launchers on it. Actually, we had one back whenever I was still back in the Stone Age of the Army. We had, I believe it was called the 901 Hammerhead, which was a TOW missile system attached to the roof of a 113. And of course, if you want the Bradley, which I had the Bradley in prior patches, but after I respec'd, I went a different line. And there you go, is the M2A3 Bradley. I had fun with it, but if I could reroll again, I would probably go back into the M1 line or go into the Russian MBT line again, which I'll get up to again, because I'm at the T90A tier 8. The next one in line is going to be the T90MS, then the T14 Armada. And I'm sorry, but the T14 Armada is it's a spanker, man. It's a bad boy. But if you want your T-72s, they're going to be right here, and this is Shishkin, and this is where you would come to buy their vehicles. And you see there's my Terminator 2. Next step up from it would be the PL-01 is not a bad tank, but the T-15 HIFV would probably be my next purchase in tier 10, unless I actually go with the T-14 Armada, or if I can unlock the Challenger 2. Once you get to tier 8 and you can unlock a tier 9, you get a tier 9 token. Then at tier 9 to go to tier 10, you get a tier 10 token. And I believe you can spend them however you want. Then you got the Zhongfeng, which is going to be a lot of Chinese vehicles. Your artillery got moved over here. That's premium. This pretty much all of your artillery is right here, going from the M108, progressing all the way up through the Panzer 2000. Yeah, and Centauro 155. So if you want to run artillery, you can still do it in PvE, but not in PvP. So that's that. Well, I really hope you enjoyed my garage tour. I'm going to cut this video short, but then what I will do is I will come back and I will actually do a training battle. I will also do a PvE and try to get a PvP battle in to see what it looks like. I'm not sure what the current population is on the server, but we'll try that later this evening. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please leave me some comments. Let me know if you want to see more videos on armor warfare, and give me a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.